So, I watched Scream 6 yesterday night. Yeah, Scream 6 yesterday night, audience cinemas in Dolby. I thought I'd watch it on the biggest screen possible because this is the type of movie that I want to sweat while watching. So Scream 6 is a fun film. It's actually a lot better than what I expected. You know how you have so many horror films and then as they go along year by year, installment after installment, it just gets progressively worse. But in this one, it actually was very well kept up with the previous 5 installments. And for me, I always had a fear of Ghostface becoming, undercut, and I always had a feeling of Ghostface being underutilized, and I thought that watching the trailer that he wasn't going to be as ruthless as he was in the first 5 movies, but holy shit, he was ruthless. Some of the kills in this movie are quite dark. And it makes sense because how do you entice an audience that have watched the same franchise for the last 15-20 years without them feeling bored? And the best way of doing it is to introduce new ways of killing people. So yeah, literally Ghostface comes to Manhattan, like Jason comes to Manhattan, but Ghostface comes to Manhattan, is a brand new sandbox, is a new way for him to play, is a new way for people to die, to run around, to have anxiety-inducing chases, and that's what I think makes this film really well made. It's a fun film in which had very high anxiety moments in which I couldn't take a good deep breath. When the movie first started, in the first 5-10 minutes, you were obviously going to be introduced to someone getting killed, and to be honest, I didn't see it coming because of the fact that the person who died was unexpected, but also at the same time, we have not seen it in the Scream movie the way that person died and the way Ghostface revealed himself. And I ain't gonna spoil it for you lot, but there is a moment of like, whoa, hang on, I've not seen this before. This is taking in a new direction, and now this is taking place in Manhattan, in one of the biggest cities in the world, and you're gonna have Ghostface running around, slashing people, slicing and dicing. This Ghostface is ridiculous, he's ruthless, and he's a lot more menacing than you seen in the previous installments. It's not like the previous installments where in which Scary Movie has taken the mick out of, meaning Ghostface running around, tripping over things, getting slapped in the head, punched, and just falling over carelessly, because if he actually didn't do any of that, he'll easily catch up to the victims and kill them all, and we wouldn't even have a sequel to any of the Scream movies. But yeah, if you remember watching the first teaser trailer for Scream 6 and you saw him in the bodega, it's insane because of the fact that this Ghostface isn't afraid to kill innocent people to get to the victims of the main story, thinking that this Ghostface is mad. He is angry, he's vicious, and he will not care who he kills in the way or if he's doing it in a public place. And I think that's what makes this film a lot scarier, in the sense of there is no way you can hide from Ghostface now. It's not about hiding in a small town. You can't even hide in a city because he will always find you. A few scenes were amazing. The train scene that you've seen in the teaser trailer and the official trailer, or the subway scene, and it was really well done. Literally about 3, 4, 5 minutes of not knowing what's going to happen. You don't know if Ghostface is there or not, and you don't know which person is going to get killed. And honestly, that you have many of those scenes in this film, and that's what made it really memorable for me, and that's why I enjoyed the cat and mouse sequence in this film. Neve Campbell is not returning in this film, and it's not even a shock after the reports of her not getting paid fairly, because she is literally the face of Scream. It's like seeing Laurie Strode, who is played by Jamie Lee Curtis, and to be honest, if you didn't have her in a Halloween franchise, it would just make you like, what is the point of Halloween? You can't have one thing and not another. But at the same time, you also think that what is the point of having Neve Campbell in the Scream franchise until she's like 60, 70? You're going to keep having Ghostface running after her. What's she going to be in next? A wheelchair? To be honest, I didn't think that her not being in this movie was going to ruin it. I genuinely thought that Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega could have carried this movie regardless, and they did exactly that. Hayden Panettiere is back. I was very skeptical of a character returning. I genuinely thought that if you watched my previous trailer reaction to Scream, I thought that she would be the killer, because now she has a power of the legal authority. I just assumed that she would have been an FBI agent of some sort, and she was. She was an FBI agent in this movie. When I saw her in the film, I was like, you're not in the movie as much as I want you to be, you might be the killer. Hayden Panettiere, she is great. Even though she doesn't have many scenes in this movie, I thought that she did a job well done. I didn't think that they rushed her, reintroduction of a character. I thought that it wasn't forced, and it just worked well. It just fit into the narrative of the film. Kirby in Scream 4 was, for me, a standard character. I think she is the character in which Randy was in Scream 2, or in which Mindy is in Scream 5 and 6, and it just worked really well. You have a great moment between Mindy and Kirby in which they have a little horror movie face-off or riff-off. They're trying to see who's got a better horror knowledge, or what film do they like. And to be honest, it was nice. It was a nice little competition. Only criticism I have of this film is that even though Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega were amazing in Scream 5 and 6, the amount of times Ghostface has stabbed people in this movie really got on my nerves, because in any other iteration of Scream, if the same characters got stabbed by the Ghostface in those movies, they would have died, but in this film, they did not, and that just kind of peed me off a bit, because it seemed like the studio didn't want to kill off a lot of characters, and I was kind of hoping there would be a huge bloodbath over the amount of characters that died. Don't get me wrong, there's at least a half a dozen people dying in this movie, which is fine, and for me, at the end of the day, I would love to see a movie in which a studio would not care who lives and who dies. And it's like what Mindy says, when you have a franchise, anyone is fair game. And that's what I kind of hoped. I hope that everyone could basically be on the chopping board. But yeah, overall, I think it's a solid movie. You need to watch it in cinemas. It's got Ghostface, it's got bloody kills, it's got high anxiety, great cat and mouse chase sequences. It's in Manhattan, and bigger area, bigger scope, and it just works perfectly. So I genuinely think it's a good movie. If you are a fan of Scream and you love the Scream franchise, or if you're a fan of horror, then I highly recommend you watch Scream in the cinemas. If you watch it in IMAX, watch it. If you watch it in Dolby, watch it. If you watch it in a normal screen, just watch it, because I genuinely think Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega, Hayden Panettiere, Samara Weaving, Mason Gooding, Roger L. Jackson as a voice of Ghostface, Josh Segarra, Jasmine Savoy Brown, and Devin Nicoda. So all of them just did an amazing job. I'm sure there's a few more names, but those are ones I can remember on the top of my head. But yeah, it's a great movie. Go out and watch it. I highly recommend it. Hope you liked the video. Hope you liked the review. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think, and hopefully I can see you in my next video.